Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Nick, and welcome back to the channel. With San Diego Comic-Con happening this past weekend, I honestly thought we'd be getting some big Mortal Kombat 11 reveal. Instead of a Kombat Pack trailer, we instead got an interview with Todd McFarlane talking about Spawn in Mortal Kombat 11. With more news coming about Nightwolf and Sindel lately, we can guess that the Kombat Pack trailer will drop sometime during EVO in early August. If you're like me, I'm still waiting to see the rest of the cast officially revealed, rather than being data mined. After lots of teases, chainsaw revving, and Bruce friggin' Campbell messing with us, I'm fairly certain that Ash Williams is going to appear in Mortal Kombat 11. Similar to my last predicting the playstyle video I did on Spawn, I'll be looking over the same criteria: intros, outros, gear and cosmetics, along with some special moves and potential fatalities. With those out of the way, let's grab our boomsticks and chainsaw arms, and let's predict what Ashley J. Williams will be bringing to Mortal Kombat 11. Like last time, I'll be starting with the skins and cosmetics side for Ash Williams. Unlike Spawn, where I started to guess and pull from a variety of comics, TV series, and the movie for skins, I'm fairly sure Ash's cosmetics will be easier to figure out. First, I feel his base cosmetic will be him from Ash vs. the Evil Dead series on Stars. All the other cosmetics would be fairly easy to nail as well, since his wardrobe hasn't changed heavily a whole lot throughout his series run. His others would probably include the Evil Dead 2's Ash, the torn shirt, and the first time he wielded the chainsaw arm, Army of Darkness Ash Williams, with all the armor and medieval galore, and the S-Mart uniform, just to name a few. Since some of the cosmetics do change from an existing one just slightly, like base Scorpion to Hanzo, just removing the hood and adding some color to his eyes, some skins would probably do the same for Ash. Like some could include the medieval cape or remove it, or non-torn Evil Dead clothing. While we're at it, let's throw in a reference to Burn Notice and throw in a Hawaiian shirt. If Dead by Daylight did it, why can't MK11? I'm very confident about the cosmetics Ash would be wearing in Mortal Kombat 11, like 100% certain. So what about his gear pieces? Let's check that out too, and see if I'm correct there too. If you haven't watched all 3 Evil Dead movies, you'll notice that Ash's arsenal changes quite a bit from the movies. But with the tease of the chainsaw, I'm sure that's the hand he'll be rocking as gear piece number 1, his trusty chainsaw hand. I could see different markings or designs of the chainsaw, referencing Evil Dead 2 and Ash vs. the Evil Dead. He could also change it up by adding some Necronomicon markings or even some attachments made to the chainsaw, making it stand out more. Moving on to gear piece 2 is going to be what got him into this Deadite funk to begin with, the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, more commonly known as the Book of the Dead. Throughout the Evil Dead trilogy, the reboot, the series, and the comics, the book has changed its design quite a bit. It could be faceless, rocking that scream, wide-eyed, grinning teeth, glowing eyes, etc. It could change a lot. The third piece of gear is Ash's staple, the boomstick. This sawed-off shotgun could change similar to what Aaron Black's guns and weapons could do. Change up the metal, the stock, or even some attachments to the gun. I wouldn't see anything too crazy or mystical being added to the gun, but I could see some makeshift attachments that could be plastered together. Maybe more of that S-Mart stuff. Moving on to the third segment. How will Ash Williams enter and exit the fighting stage? So let's talk about intros and outros. If you couldn't tell by now, Ash Williams is one big badass. Add to his arsenal on top of his ego, he can make one grand entrance. However, NetherRealm Studios could get pretty creative with these intros, but I'll share some highlights from the series, hoping they could use some of these as inspiration. The first I could see is Ash starting his chainsaw with his teeth, a reference to Evil Dead 2 after he attached it to his arm for the first time. Right before he says his iconic line, "Groovy." The second intro could be him walking in and spinning his boomstick into his holster, something he's done from Evil Dead 2 onwards. The third intro could be him reading the Necronomicon with the line "Klaatu Barata Niktu" being said along the green glow around the book, referencing Army of Darkness. The last could be Henrietta's head constantly screaming, "I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul," and being interrupted by Ash's foot, later being shot in the head as Ash says his concluding intro dialogue to the opponent. that being a reference to Evil Dead 2, my favorite of the series. All of these intros could set up for some of the best intros and interactions with the entire MK cast. I cannot wait for him to roast Johnny Cage. Last topic of discussion, and probably the most important reason for you to select him to play as, how will he play? Personally, I think that Ash Williams will be a zoning rushdown character, with moves such as the Boomstick and Necronomicon summoning being key to playing keep away with the opponent. Up close, he could use his chainsaw for some combos and command grabs, pressuring the opponent. However, I could see Ash being pretty punishable and having some not safe on block attacks, but being able to deal some heavy damage to the opponent. I could see NetherRealm Studios potentially reusing some animations and some attacks from their previous guest character in MKX, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, for the fatalities, I have a few good ideas to share. I could see his first one being a callback to the Evil Dead remake, where Mia kills the Abomination via chainsaw through the mouth down to the hip. This would be the perfect fatality for Mortal Kombat, and just the perfect amount of gore for Sam Raimi to wet himself for us. But actually, don't imagine that, and Sam Raimi, please don't do that. The second finisher could be him summoning mini Ashes from the book and entering the opponent, ending with the chainsaw popping through their chest and cutting up to their mouth, splitting them in half with evil Ash appearing from their body, similar to Noob Saibot's finisher in MK11 and a callback to Army of Darkness. If those finishers aren't the ones that NetherRealm Studios decides to put in the game, I'd love to see how creative and what ones they end up putting in the game. I cannot wait for Ash Williams. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning into this video. How do you think Ash Williams will play in Mortal Kombat 11? Do you think he'll play like a rushdown? Any cosmetics you'd see him wear? Fatality ideas? If you agree with anything I've said, please put them in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to get back with you on your ideas as well. I'm fairly certain that Ash will make it in after seeing that the leaks are turning out to be true. Hopefully we can catch him in all of his glory at EVO in August. If you'd wish to see a video of me covering the Terminator, comment and let me know down below. That's all for today. Drop a like and subscribe, and check out all my other MK11 videos and discussion videos. It would mean so much to me if you were able to do that. Again, thank you guys very much for watching, and have a groovy day.
I will show no mercy.